Hello again. You're back. Welcome back. Have you been enjoying your time here on my island, Mr. E Island? I hope no one told you that this wasn't my island because, of course, it is my island. As you can see, my shoes are still wet. We are still on the beach, but we are in my lab, which means it is time for another experiment. This time, a mysterious one, but one that we can solve as long as we keep our friends close. Like Professor A. Welcome back, Professor A. It's good to have you here. And of course, Troy hasn't left yet, so that's fine. All right, let's get started. To begin, I have before you 9 cups. Each of them containing a different solution. That's not funny. I don't know why that's funny. I shouldn't have laughed. Listen, I've made a mistake. Can we keep it between ourselves, though? I am not exactly sure what is inside each of these cups. Some of them look very similar. And that is a problem. And now some of these things I should not drink, even though all of them are liquids, because some of them could hurt me. So, the mystery we have to solve today is what is inside each of these cups. Now, while this is an entirely solvable mystery, one thing we shouldn't forget. 1, that God is still good all the time. And 2, mysteries can be solved, and sometimes they can't. One of those mysteries is sometimes about God. Has anyone ever tried to solve the mystery of how God ever became a baby? Me neither. Or how God can be 3 but also 1, 3 but also 1. How? The good thing about these mysteries is that we don't have to solve them, and sometimes the mysteries of God are what make God so great. So, while we won't be able to solve those mysteries, we will be able to solve this one. The way we're going to do it is we're going to learn 2 different terms today. One is acid, and the other is base. Now, you may know these things, but you may not know them by these terms. Let's start with the first one, the acid. Has anyone ever bit into a lemon? Yes. I can tell by your faces that some of you have. And you know that because your face scrunched up like this, because a lemon is very sour. And the reason why it is sour, boom, is an acid. That acid is somehow affecting your tongue and goes down into your stomach, and your stomach is actually full of acid. And acid helps you digest your food. But too much acid, Troy, of course you don't know, you get a tummy ache. So you have to be careful with too many acids in your system. Now the second term, the base. Let me ask you this. How many of you have washed your hands today? Let me see by raising your hands. Let me look. Yes, raise them high. Put them closer to the television. Put them closer to your computer. Some of you have your hands up, but some of you have not washed your hands. I can tell. You must be very careful. Go and wash your hands as often as possible, especially before you do experiments in this lab, my lab here at Mr. E's Island. Now enough of that. We're going to take what we know about acids, we're going to take what we know about bases, and we're going to use that to figure out this mystery here. We need to figure out which one of these are acids and which one of these are bases, but we cannot drink them. So, we have brought along some help. One of the things that we have to help us is this pH indicator chart. Now, pH is something that scientists use, like myself, like Professor A, not you, Troy. You don't know anything. You're just a lobster. But this pH chart will help us. As you can see, there are different colors, and it spans from 0 to 14. The lower the number, the more acidic it is. And the higher the number, the more basic it is. Unless you get to number 7, which is a neutral. Most distilled water is neutral. So we will wait and see what there is to learn based on this pH indicator scale. Now, Professor A, you have something very important for us, and that important thing is purple magic potion. What? It's boiled red cabbage water? Of course it is. Well, hand it over. No, Troy, I will not smell it. Oh, oh. Stop laughing, Troy. It's not that funny. Now, with our purple cabbage water, we're going to figure out this mystery together. Troy, give me the dropper. I knew you were good for something. Troy, give it to me. Let it go. Good. All right. With this dropper, with this magic red cabbage water, we're going to put a drop of the red cabbage water inside of each of the cups, effectively turning the cups a different color. Then we will compare the color left in the cup to our pH indicator chart, therefore revealing just what is inside of each cup. All right, look closely. We're only going to get to do this once. Cup number 1. Reveal yourself. Interesting, interesting. How about a little bit more? Very pretty. But what does it teach us? All right. Cup number 2. A little bit cloudier. It has turned a different color of purple. We will have to wait and see what that means, because we're moving on to cup number 3. Here we are, cup number 3. Show us your secrets. A much darker purple. Are you sure this isn't magic potion, Professor? Oh, it's still just cabbage water. Fine, have it your way. Cup number 4. Interesting, interesting. It's almost turned red. It's the darkest of all of them thus far. Very interesting. Cup number 5. Ooh. It is deep. It is red. It's almost purple. Brilliant. All right, cup number 6. Oh, it has turned green. Majestic green. And cup number 7. Cloudy, but not as cloudy as number 8. Interesting, interesting. Seems to be a very light purple, almost a light purple. I think I've created a new color, Professor A. Troy, stop laughing. Cup number 8. Ooh, wow. It is almost sea green. How did it turn green? We will find out. And finally, the 9th cup. Not much change. Very interesting. Almost as if I didn't add anything at all. Very peculiar. All right, it is time for us to unravel the mystery. Troy, hold the dropper. Don't drop it. That seemed funny at the time. I think you could have laughed a little bit harder. All right, that's enough. Our pH indicator chart will help us figure out this mystery. I am going to move these items and place them closer to what they match with, starting with the darkest of reds. It seems as though this one is the darkest. Yes, somewhere in here, in the 1Z, 2Z area. Yes, good. We're getting somewhere. Moving closer to the pinker version. A little bit lighter pink, somewhere in the 2 to 3 range. Interesting. We're dealing with some acids. All right, the next one. This one is a beige pink. Closer to a 4, one might say. They're all still acids. All right. Cup number 1, next. A very light pink. That's closer to a 5. And just like that, the number 3 reveals itself to be a little bit closer to neutral, which takes us to the middle. This one, barely changed, almost a blue. Blue goes closer to neutral. I think we found our water. But it continues, the lighter blue. Next, number 3, which is a milky blue. Oh, this is number 2. How dare you, Professor A, trick me into believing that it was a different number. Now we get into the greens, closer to the green. Number 6, very aquamarine. And now the final one. Wow, it's almost turned yellow, which means it's a base. And just like that, we've figured out our mystery. The further we go, the more pinker, the redder it gets. The closer we get to blue takes us to 7, 7 being water, all the way through until we get to the yellow. We know the difference now between an acid and a base, all using nothing but the power of our minds and a giant cup of purple magic cabbage water. It's cabbage water. It is merely cabbage water. That's all you need. Just boil a cabbage and use the water. Well, mystery solved, boys and girls, which means one thing. It is time to move on to your next activity of the day. And I now have the ability to go rearrange my poison chest. I mean, medicine cabinet. Yes, medicine cabinet. Come along, Cabbage Water. We have many things to learn. Oh, this smells terrible.